Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Long time no see. For those of you who know, watch my last video, you'll know that I'm also reviewing Loki as well, which just debuted this week. You can check out the reaction video I did for that. So guys, time for another episode. Oh god, now I'm reminded as to why I hate hoop earrings. I put these earrings on because I haven't worn them in a long time, but I can't tell if they look tacky or not. Honestly guys, it's COVID times. I don't even know what's in style anymore, so I just put them on. Anyway, off topic. So it's time for another episode of The Bad Batch, guys. Obviously, the last episode we had, we got to see the Martez sisters again, which I was reading your comments, and some of you have mixed feelings about that. I know there are some of you who don't really like them because from when we first were introduced to them in season 7, a lot of you guys thought that arc could have instead gone to other arcs like the one with Cad Bane and Boba Fett. And so I totally get where you're coming from with that as well. But some of you also like the Martez sisters. I personally feel like I've always liked Rafa. I didn't like Trace as much, but I do feel like this episode redeemed both of them because when they were first introduced, they were kind of seen as just serving the purpose of telling a part of Ahsoka's story. And now we're getting to see them have their own story. And it looks like they may actually have a larger role going forward and even play a part in the early stages of the rebellion. So they kind of went from side characters to potentially more pivotal characters. And one of you mentioned that we might even see them in the Ahsoka series, which is a possibility. So yeah, I think it was good for them ultimately. And I think that we might see them in a different light now and may even end up liking them overall more than we did back in the Clone Wars season 7. We got to see the droids being decommissioned and being used for good there when they kind of fought alongside the Bad Batch. And of course, we got to see Omega hone her skills with her little bow and arrow, which is cool. You guys were kind of wondering what her skill might be, whether it is learning other people's skills. She does seem to perform her best when she's actually in a high stress situation on the battlefield as opposed to when she's off the battlefield. And we saw that in the episode when she was training with Sid. She was kind of, she was missing the target. I think she only hit it 3 out of 10 times or something like that. But the moment she was actually fighting alongside Rafa and Trace, then she was able to hit her targets, right? And tune out the distractions, as Echo taught her. We also saw that moment with Wrecker. Oh my goodness. And he turned momentarily and then came right back, which I honestly feel like, I don't know how many more times they can have him hit his head and not turn. So if he's gonna turn, it's probably going to be soon. And one of you said that Omega might be the one who could save him, which got me thinking, what if that would be the moment we see what her true enhanced skill is, the moment she has to save Wrecker? That would be something interesting and would definitely be a monumental moment in the series, right? But nonetheless, yes, I do expect that we'll see Wrecker turn or, have his whole chip situation dealt with soon, because I do appreciate them kind of prolonging the suspense, so to speak. But at the same time, you can only prolong it for so long before we start to say, okay, he's got to turn already. Like, you can't just keep having him hit his head every episode sort of thing, right? So I do expect we'll see it soon, maybe in this episode or at least the following episode. And of course, the biggest question of the episode, guys, is who is Rafa's contact at the end there? During my reaction, my first thought was Bail, who I'm still kind of considering. But after thinking about it, I was thinking, wait, hang on a second. It might be Ahsoka because they actually had an R7 droid. I don't know if it's the same R7 that was Ahsoka's droid. If that is the same droid, that would mean that Rafa and Trace met up with Ahsoka and Rex shortly after Order 66. So that was kind of definitely giving me Ahsoka vibes. But then, as some of you pointed out, and as I discussed in my live stream with Jedi Jive that I had, Rafa does say patch him through, and I didn't realize that during my reaction initially. So it does seem like it has to be a male, which leaves Bail, Rex, I've seen some of you say Obi-Wan and Maul as a possibility. And there are compelling reasons for all of them. I think most likely it's probably going to be Rex though. With all the Ahsoka hints, it would have to be someone tied to Ahsoka, I would think. And Rex would have an interest in seeking out these clones, both to have their help in potentially fighting against the Empire, but also to have their chips removed like he did with Wolf and Gregor. It is possible that this could potentially lead to some conflict, right? And it could even cause a civil war amongst the clones. You have the clones that had their chips removed versus the clones that haven't. Anyways, I speculated a lot longer than I wanted to. Let's start the episode now, get the video rolling, and let's dive in and see what's in store for us. So the episode's called Battle Scars. As they traverse a decommissioned medical facility, the batch encounter an unexpected threat. And the episode's called Battle Scars. That is interesting. Now, is it a threat that is going to remain a threat, or is it someone that they think is a threat at first but ends up being an ally, right? And Battle Scars kind of implies that this person they're meeting, or this threat that they're coming into contact with, fought in the battle, you know, maybe the Clone Wars. So they could be referring to Rex, maybe? Oh. Who's chasing them? Ruby. Oh, so I guess they're coming back from a mission that we haven't seen. Wrecker, oh my gosh. Oh. So they stole that creature. Oh, for Sid. I should have known, yes.
Now you catching on.
Who are they? Where do they want to go? Oh, they're so adorable. Who is that, though? Okay. Those eyes look like Rex's eyes. Right? Or at least a clone's eyes. I've got that feeling. Oh, a Pantoran. Oh. Okay. That's definitely the contact. Because they're wearing the robe, right? I think it's Rex. Unless it's Saw Gerrera. Wait. If it's Rex, he's definitely acting different than the last time we saw him. Oh, attack. Oh. Did someone get killed? That's Rex. Look at that. Oh, look at the armor. 100%. You can see his cheeks. It's Rex. Okay, so that's who the contact is, guys. We knew it, didn't we? It was one of our guesses. I didn't know from the last episode that we would see him so soon.
That's a long story.
Tell me about it.
Very low. Imperial files have you listed as killed in action.
Being dead
Whoa.
in the Empire's eyes has its advantages. Well, how'd you track us down? Trace and Rafa Martez.
Yep.
They said
So we know for sure Ahsoka and
they
Rex
told me I could
met them
find
after
you
the war.
here.
Wrecker. Oh yeah, Wrecker and Rex didn't get along right away, did they, in the Clone Wars?
Good to see you.
Thought you didn't like the rigs.
This one we like.
She analyzing him?
You're a Generation 1.
How'd you know that?
From the lines in your face.
Oh,
Got that. One of those med packs.
his head again.
Use the last one.
Rex
What's wrong?
Rex knows something's up.
You're telling me you haven't removed your chips?
No, not yet. I don't want to bury any more about Ruckus.
Trust me,
Damn,
it is not something you can control.
he
I
knows.
couldn't take
I wonder if he's gonna mention Ahsoka at all by name? Or say like my commander or something?
I'll be in touch.
I'll be in touch. So wait, that sounds like he's not staying with them. He's gotta stay with them, right? There it is, Tech. His little device. Okay, they're meeting with him.
Since Rex
See, Omega knew right away what kind of clone Rex was. Thing is, I kind of want to see Rex return though, before his chip is removed. Kind of like with Rex, he turned, and then Ahsoka removed his chip, right? Braca.
A starship graveyard.
Damn.
Picking up Rex's beacon.
And some of you mentioned too, what would happen if he came face to face with Ahsoka or Obi-Wan or another Jedi, right? I kind of want to see what Wrecker would do. And the only problem is if he gets his chip removed too early, we're not going to get to see that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Is Ahsoka here then? That was their shuttle, right? That they took at the end of the Clone Wars. We saw this part in the trailer.
Taken out on a Jedi cruiser just like that. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Scrapper Guild.
Rex, if you don't mention Ahsoka in this episode, at least mention her. We're going to have a problem.
Fives. Tried to
Who removed your chip?
chips.
It was her.
I did not.
Does Echo know what happened with Fives? Because I think he died before Fives, right?
Just like you, Rex.
Look at the animation. That looks so realistic. The water.
Stay above the waterline.
Whoa. That shot right there. That looks like from an actual live action movie. That's crazy.
How'd you get yours out? I had
From who, Rex? Mention her. Who helped you?
medical. Yeah, my head doesn't hurt anymore. I'm fine. Go without me.
You can do it! Just keep
He's scared. He doesn't want to go. I feel like something could happen to Wrecker in this episode. He hit his head again. Oh my gosh. They did not think this through properly. Oh my gosh. What is gonna happen? Whoa. Is that a sarlac? Oh my gosh. He almost had a Boba Fett ending.
You miss battling clankers, doesn't it?
So true. I kind of miss the droids too. Is that weird? Maybe, is it possible he wants to keep Ahsoka a secret? Because he may still see the clones as a potential threat to her. Maybe he doesn't want them to know she's alive to protect her. I'm not sure I want to have surgery in that place. I don't know how I feel about this. I want him to turn before he gets his chip removed. Exactly like what happened with Rex. Oh, they have such an adorable relationship.
This is dangerous.
Uh-oh.
It's more dangerous to leave that inhibited chip.
Omega is usually right. Is it possible Hunter doesn't survive the surgery?
Got it.
Did I hear a bit of Ahsoka's theme in there? I can't tell. Uh-oh.
Away from me.
He's gonna turn before they can get it removed, isn't he? Oh no. He's turning right now, isn't he? Oh my gosh. This is terrifying.
Direct violation of Order 66.
This is terrifying. Whoa, did you see how his face just turned like that? Oh my gosh. Whoa, just like that. Oh, whoa. Okay, guys, so for those of you that were saying Omega has to be the one to save Wrecker, this is the episode she's gonna do it. Or unless, could they have him be turned bad for multiple episodes? Or are they gonna bring him back this episode? Oh my gosh. Keep hitting his head. Oh my goodness.
All clones in violation of Order 66.
Omega? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Omega. This is what we didn't want to see. Their relationship is so cute. Now he's trying to kill her. Just like Anakin and Ahsoka. Hurry, girl. Of all the members of the Bad Batch that could have turned, Wrecker turning is like the worst case scenario because of how strong he is. Come on, Omega. Time to use that skill of yours. It's like a horror movie. Oh my gosh.
Guilty of treason.
This is dark. Can you stun him? Oh, shoot.
Rick, I'm your friend.
There you go. Yep. So they had to do with him exactly what Rex had to do, or Ahsoka had to do to Rex. Knock him out, then get him in.
Rika,
Did he survive the surgery?
Wrecker,
She's sensing something here? Maybe not.
Could
I'm staying until he wakes up.
She has spoken. Oh. Oh, jeez. Mm. Mm. Oh, he's back.
long face.
Does he remember what happened? Probably not, eh?
Oh, you made it.
I love tech. He's so technical. Oh, you made it. Wow. So I guess the unexpected threat in this case was Wrecker. That's what the episode synopsis said, right? Oh.
Listen, Omega, what happened?
Oh, he does remember.
Still,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
this is... Oh my gosh, my heart.
The mission's over.
Oh, this makes me so sad. Oh my gosh. Just seeing Wrecker so vulnerable there. We've never seen that side of him before.
Copy that.
Or at least we didn't see it as much in the Clone Wars compared to now.
I figured you went out of the fight just yet.
Who is he contacting there?
Can't stop now.
Ahsoka, perhaps?
Let's go, Rex.
Or it could be Wolf or Gregor.
Squad skills. I'm still figuring that out.
Mm.
I guess we all are. Funny. I was gonna say the same to you.
Oh, cute.
Well,
Aww. And then he just like disappears into the mist. Who's watching them? A good person or a bad person? Or someone in between? Fennec? Ahsoka? No, the Empire. Damn. So I hope they're not planning on staying there long. Whoa. So much to talk about there, guys. Well, I guess we have to start with Wrecker there. That was just such a dark moment that we all knew was coming. And I think just seeing him become so cold so suddenly and trying to kill the Bad Batch, including Omega, it just starkly contrasts with how he has been before, which is friendly and humorous, you know, like Uncle Wrecker. He's a very sincere and such a likable character, and I feel as though the writers definitely played that part of him up a little bit more so that the events that transpired in this episode would feel especially more tragic and especially darker, and they definitely accomplished that feeling. That was just terrifying. Of all the Bad Batch, the one that you don't want to turn is 100% Wrecker, and we saw a glimpse of what that would have been like had he been against them and stayed that way. He definitely could have killed them. It's a big question of what would have happened had Rex not stunned Wrecker there just before he was about to kill Omega. Would he have followed through with it, or would he have been able to fight it off somehow? That's kind of a big question, right? What would have happened? Would he have actually been able to kill Omega? And I think probably the answer to that is yes, because even with Rex, he was trying to fight against the chip as well, right? But he ended up still firing the blaster bolt at Ahsoka, and it's just her that ducked out of the way just in time, right? So yeah, that was just so terrifying, and I love that scene that happened afterwards where Wrecker apologized to Omega, and then Omega, you know, in her forgiving nature said that, you know, she was very understanding and she knew that he couldn't control it, which we know Omega kind of sees the good in everybody, and she did the same thing with Crosshair as well, saying that it wasn't his fault. So she seems to know quite a lot just about how people are, and she even recognized Rex right away as being a Generation 1 clone. She's very perceptive that way, which we're going to get to Rex in a second. But yeah, that scene between Omega and Wrecker just showed how vulnerable Wrecker was in that moment, and he is this really big, you know, guy of brute strength, but he's also deep down like a teddy bear, right? And I think that's shown in the way he interacts with Omega, the way that he interacts with little Lula doll. He is that kind of soft person deep down, and we really just saw that in that scene. It honestly was pretty emotional. I could feel myself getting a little bit teary-eyed there, just because not only was the scene itself sad, but it really made me think, oh man, are we kind of being set up here for the inevitable, which is Wrecker dying in the end and potentially sacrificing himself for Omega? Because it seems like that's where they're leading. I'm just trying to figure out why else they would just build up their relationship so much, right? It would be so that if one of them died, we would really feel the impact of that. It's just like Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship. They became so close over the Clone Wars. They were like brother and sister. And that is what made his whole descent into Darth Vader all the more tragic. We really felt it because here is someone who was protecting Ahsoka all this time, and now he's trying to hunt her down and kill her like everybody else. So yeah, I don't know. That just it does make me feel sad because I feel like they're definitely leading and implying that something is going to happen with Wrecker and Omega, and it's probably going to be Wrecker that ends up dying, and that's just going to be, oh my gosh, rip my heart out. I really appreciate this episode. It was so well done, and I love seeing the darker side to Wrecker there, because it just shows what they're up against, and what Rex said was true, is that you're like ticking time bombs, right? And we really saw that in this episode, that is the potential for every clone to be this way if they do not remove their inhibitor chips, which we know by the end of the episode they all did.
Rex has been through a lot. Battles leave scars. Some you can't see.
The only thing I'll say is it would have been nice if Wrecker had come into contact with a Jedi such as Ahsoka or such as Obi-Wan. We get to see some Jedi versus clone action, kind of like we did in the premiere with Caleb, aka Kanan, and Crosshair, right? That's the only thing I wish we could have maybe seen. Obviously now we're not going to see that because they already removed all their chips, right? But nonetheless, Wrecker in this episode was still absolutely terrifying, and I am glad that we got to see that unfold before they removed his chip. And of course, Rex was in this episode. We were definitely onto something, guys, because I know Rex was one of the options we were discussing as to who could be Rafa's contact, and that was confirmed in this episode. And they kind of implied for sure that he has been different since the end of the war in Order 66. He kind of seemed a little bit more mysterious in the beginning, and it looked like he shot his blaster at those people, I guess to scare them, which is something that Rex may not necessarily have done during the Clone Wars, but he's been through a lot since then, right? He has changed, and he has seen everything he fought for and stood for collapse in a matter of moments, right? And so it's understandable that he would be a different person now. Did my earring just fall off? I feel like I should take these out. I'm gonna take them out. They're bothering my ears anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, so you could tell he was definitely different. And by the way, so much for keeping a low profile, Rex. You're just like shooting at people in cantinas now. So I'm glad that we kind of got to see him and how what he's been up to since the war ended. Now, he definitely made references to Ahsoka in this episode, although he didn't mention her by name, which I kind of was hoping he might. I'm starting to think now that maybe he didn't do that because he might want to protect her identity and not let that many people know that she's actually still alive, because the more people that know, obviously it's a danger to her, right? But at this point, guys, we've gotten Rex, we've gotten the Martez sisters, so I expect that we're gonna have Ahsoka for sure. We already had the R7 droid as well at the end of last episode. I bet everything that she is gonna make an appearance. It's just a matter of when. We did see Rex contact someone at the end of the episode, which could have been Ahsoka. Or my other thought would be Wolf and Gregor, because we know that he was with them in Rebels, right? So he could be trying to get to as many clones as possible and remove their chips, which is something that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Could that lead to some type of clone civil war? It'll be called the Clone Civil Wars, where you have a portion of the clones without their inhibitor chips versus the others that do have their inhibitor chips. So yeah, but overall there was just so much going on in this episode. We got to see the sarlac as well. Poor Wrecker. He almost that was not a good situation that he was in there. I feel like they didn't think that through though. With Wrecker's weight, he's such a big guy that seems like he would definitely bring the cable down with him, right? This episode definitely showed us a lot. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this one, I honestly think it's like probably 9 out of 10, I would say. It was definitely up there, and we got to see a lot of things that we were anticipating for quite a while now, since the beginning of the series. So that was really cool, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens next. Are they potentially setting up spin-off shows in the future? Because Rex, we know, is now on his own, doing his own thing with the rebellion, and Ahsoka's on her own. There's still a lot of story that can be told in other shows as well, right? And they could definitely do that if they wanted to, because this series is setting that up. In terms of the events of the Ahsoka novel, it's possible that the Bad Batch immediately precedes the events of the Ahsoka novel, right? They could definitely have that be the case, where Ahsoka does cross paths with them just before she ends up doing what she does in the novel and going to Rada and that sort of thing. You guys let me know what you thought of the episode down below in the comments, and tell me what you're looking forward to in the next episodes. We still have to see Crosshair and the Empire, because we haven't seen them for a while, and of course we have Fennec after the Bad Batch as well. So there's definitely multiple angles here to this main storyline with the Bad Batch. They have a lot of people after them, and at the same time they're still working for Sid on the side. So there's still so many directions this series could go by the finale. So I'm looking forward to it. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and share the video as well. And I will see you next Wednesday for Loki, and next Friday for the next episode of the Bad Batch. Until next time, guys, take care and see you soon.